Imagine a world where a single glance can deliver a secret worth millions, where a fleeting movement can carry information that could topple governments. Imagine a world where messages are passed without a sound, without ink, without any digital footprint. This is the world of espionage, where spies communicate without ever sending a message. A world where silence itself is a weapon. In the shattered world of intelligence, the consequences of communication are life and death, power and ruin. Every message that travels, every code that is broken, can shape nations and rewrite history. And yet, the most sophisticated operatives often rely on a principle so simple yet so profound. The less trace you leave, the more power you wield. Before we plunge deeper into these clandestine networks, take a moment to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Think of it as your initiation into the shadows, a promise that you are about to learn what the vast majority of people will never see, never understand, and never even suspect exists. The secrets we're about to uncover are lessons in strategy, survival, and human ingenuity. Let's start with a fundamental truth. Spies are invisible masters of observation. While we leave digital trails with texts and emails, spies have perfected methods of transferring knowledge without leaving a single footprint. They've learned to use the world itself as a message board and the smallest objects as carriers of information too subtle for the untrained eye to detect. The genius of espionage isn't just about codes or microdots. It's about understanding patterns, anticipating behaviors, and reading intentions. In the world of spies, silence is louder than words. Every gesture, every glance, every object can convey a narrative that no one else can interpret. Consider the resistance movements during the Second World War. In Nazi-occupied Europe, ordinary objects became extraordinary conveyors of information. A single flower in a window could mean danger approaching, a pattern on a bakery. Awning could signal safe to enter, and the way a newspaper was folded could guide agents to a secret meeting. To the untrained eye, these were mundane actions. To those in the know, they were messages of life and death. Fast forward to the Cold War, and the stakes were even higher. Intelligence agencies like the CIA, KGB, and MI6 perfected communication methods so subtle that even the most meticulous surveillance couldn't detect them. Dead drops became the silent arteries through which vital information flowed. A hollowed-out brick in a wall, a loose stone in a pathway, a tiny envelope tucked behind a park bench, these were the lifelines of espionage. Dead drops are the ultimate expression of invisible communication. The concept is deceptively simple. A spy leaves an item in a prearranged location, and another operative collects it later. No direct contact, no conversation to be intercepted. Yet, entire operations could hinge on a single piece of paper hidden under a loose brick. The genius is how seamlessly it all blends into the environment. A casual passerby sees only a stone on a path. The operative sees the code embedded in its position. In espionage, context is everything. Then there are the signals hidden in plain sight. These are communications that are invisible because they appear so ordinary. A chalk mark on a wall, a single flower in a garden, or even the way someone adjusts their hat can be an intricate message. During World War II, the French resistance relied on these methods. Placing a basket in a particular spot outside a window could convey instructions, warnings, or confirmation of safe passage. These signals were invisible because they were not signals to the uninitiated. They existed in the unnoticed patterns of life. Microdots and invisible ink take this secrecy even further. Microdots' tiny photographs reduced to the size of a period can hold entire documents. Invisible ink, revealed only under ultraviolet light or heat, can turn ordinary letters into secret transmissions. These methods seem almost magical, but they are practical, precise, and lethal in their effectiveness. A letter could carry critical intelligence across borders without raising any suspicion. Cryptography amplifies the silence of espionage. One-time pads, codes used only once create messages that are mathematically unbreakable. Even the most brilliant codebreakers can't decipher them because each key is unique and disappears after use. In the hands of a spy, these techniques turn ordinary paper or radio signals into invisible highways of information. The message exists, yet it doesn't until it reaches its intended recipient. Dead man switches and self-destructing messages add another layer of danger. Some secrets are so powerful that even the message itself cannot survive. Devices are designed to destroy themselves if not collected in time or if compromised. The stakes are immediate and fatal. A missed deadline could mean the permanent loss of critical intelligence, and, in some cases, the death of those involved. The message is only alive when it matters, and it vanishes the moment it ceases to be useful. But while tools and codes are vital, the true mastery of espionage lies in human skill. Spies must observe with precision, memorize with clarity, and anticipate with uncanny accuracy. They read the world as a living map of information, interpreting gestures and patterns that no one else notices. The human mind is the ultimate medium for invisible communication. Sometimes, messages are transmitted entirely in memory, carried across continents without a single written word. A glance in a cafe, a nod in a train station. A shift in posture, these can carry instructions, confirmations, or warnings. During the Cold War, operatives had to pass critical information in crowded public spaces. Two agents might sit at opposite ends of a cafe, exchanging secrets through subtle gestures. A book placed in a particular way, a hand resting on a table. Even how someone sipped their coffee, all were methods of communication invisible to anyone outside the operation. Even in today's digital age, these methods have evolved rather than disappeared. Encrypted messages, dead drop websites, and steganography hiding data within images or files extend the ancient art of invisible communication into the modern era. The principles remain the same: concealment, precision, and invisibility. A message can travel across the globe in seconds, yet remain undetectable. The stakes are higher than ever because a single breach can have catastrophic consequences. Psychology plays an equally critical role. The greatest spies aren't just technicians. They are observers of human behavior. They understand how to manipulate perception, control attention, and exploit assumptions. A spy can convey volumes with a single look and orchestrate entire operations through silent signals. In the world of espionage, knowledge is power, and invisibility is the ultimate weapon. As you listen to this, ask yourself, what if someone in your life is communicating in ways you cannot see? What if messages are being sent right under your nose, invisible yet potent enough to change events around you? You would never know. This is the terrifying reality of espionage, the invisible web that operates outside our awareness. The history of invisible communication is a testament to human ingenuity. From ancient couriers using subtle gestures to microdots and invisible ink, to encrypted digital signals today, the principles remain unchanged. Remain unseen, leave no trace, and convey information precisely. In the next part of this series, we will delve even deeper. We will explore the astonishing techniques spies have used to communicate across enemy lines, the extraordinary measures taken to ensure secrecy, and the chilling consequences when invisible communication fails. We'll uncover stories that will astonish, thrill, and terrify you, revealing a world hidden in plain sight. Because in espionage, the most dangerous messages are the ones that are never sent. In the world of espionage, there is no room for hesitation. Every moment is a decision, every action carries weight, and every communication, even the invisible kind, can tip the balance between success and catastrophic failure. The tools of the trade dead drops, coded signals, and cryptic messages are not just gadgets. They are lifelines connecting operatives across cities, countries, and continents, all without a single direct interaction. Take the simple yet deadly concept of the dead drop. At first glance, it seems almost laughably ordinary. A loose brick in a wall, a hollow tree trunk, or a cleverly disguised container buried under leaves. To an outsider, it's nothing, but to a spy, it's a carefully orchestrated channel of information. A silent courier carrying instructions, blueprints, photographs, or sometimes the names of those who must be protected or eliminated. Timing is everything. A drop left a minute too early or too late could expose both the sender and the receiver. The real art isn't just knowing where to leave the message, but how to make it vanish into plain sight until it's retrieved. During the Cold War, KGB and CIA operatives in Berlin relied on this method with a meticulousness bordering on obsession. A single misstep, like a footstep too loud or a glance in the wrong direction, could unravel entire networks. The intelligence exchanged in these dead drops was often more valuable than anything sent through secure lines. There were no digital fingerprints, no intercepted calls, no traceable transmissions. Only silence, only shadows, and the chilling knowledge that failure could be fatal. But the ingenuity of spies doesn't stop at hidden containers. In the crowded streets of Paris, London, and Prague, agents developed ways to communicate openly while appearing to do nothing at all. Coded signals, invisible to anyone who didn't know their meaning, became second nature. A hand on a lamppost, a scarf tied in a particular knot, or even the tilt of a hat could signal safety, danger, or instructions. These signs, woven into the fabric of everyday life, allowed spies to transmit messages in plain sight, leaving no trail for enemy eyes. During World War II, the French resistance perfected this technique. Ordinary objects became extraordinary messengers. A chalk mark on a wall could indicate a safe house. The placement of a newspaper on a cafe table could confirm the arrival of supplies. Every object, every movement was a potential vehicle for intelligence. What appeared ordinary to a casual observer was, in fact, a complex network of silent communication. Resistance members memorized these codes and lived by them, creating an invisible lifeline that connected them to the Allied forces. In the same vein, the use of microdots transformed how information could travel undetected. A microdot is tiny, so small it can be mistaken for a period at the end of a sentence. Yet, it can hold entire pages of information. Maps, instructions, even entire documents could be shrunk to the size of a dot and hidden in a letter or a book. The genius of this method lies in its invisibility. Ordinary mail passes from one hand to another without raising a single suspicion. Yet within that tiny dot lies intelligence powerful enough to change the outcome of a war. Invisible ink adds another layer of secrecy. Messages written in substances that only appear under heat, ultraviolet light, or chemical reagents allow spies to communicate through seemingly benign letters. A message could travel thousands of miles hidden in a routine correspondence, its content invisible to anyone who opens it casually. The message exists, yet it doesn't exist until the proper conditions reveal it. This duality, this ability to exist unseen, defines so much of the espionage world. Even the most sophisticated codes rely on human ingenuity. One-time pads, used extensively during the Cold War, create messages that are mathematically unbreakable. Each key is used only once, making the message impossible to decrypt without its twin. A spy could transmit sensitive instructions across the globe, secure in the knowledge that no intelligence agency, no matter how skilled, could intercept it. The brilliance of this method is in its simplicity and its invisibility. It's not about being clever. It's about being undetectable. Dead man switches amplify the stakes even further. These mechanisms are designed to destroy a message if the intended recipient doesn't retrieve it in time, or if someone unauthorized tries to access it. Sometimes the destruction is instantaneous. Other times, it's delayed to create uncertainty. The purpose is clear. Some secrets are too dangerous to risk falling into the wrong hands. The message itself becomes a weapon, disappearing as soon as it has fulfilled its purpose, leaving no evidence, no trace, and no way to reverse the outcome. Yet, while these tools are critical, The greatest advantage a spy possesses is the human mind. Observation, memory, and anticipation are the silent technologies of espionage. A spy in a crowded train station might communicate entire plans with nothing more than subtle shifts in posture, glances, or hand movements. Two operatives could exchange critical information while sipping coffee at opposite ends of a cafe, their eyes and gestures forming a language invisible to anyone else. Every action is deliberate, every moment meaningful. History provides chilling examples of how these human techniques were perfected. During the Cold War, operatives had to transmit information across hostile territories without being detected. Surveillance was constant, and the consequences of failure were severe. Yet, through silent observation and coded gestures, agents conveyed instructions, warnings, and critical intelligence. The most sophisticated networks didn't rely on technology alone. They relied on the subtle interplay between human perception and human psychology. The mind, in many ways, became a vessel for invisible messages. This art of communication extends even to the modern era. Encrypted digital messages, dead-drop websites, and steganography, the practice of hiding information within images or other files, represent the evolution of these ancient techniques. The principles are unchanged: conceal, transmit, and remain invisible. A spy can send instructions across continents in seconds, with no one ever realizing a message even exists. The stakes are higher than ever, because in the modern age, a single breach can have catastrophic consequences for governments, corporations, and lives. Ultimately, a successful spy knows how to exploit assumptions, manipulate perception, and control attention. They understand that messages are conveyed not only through words or objects, but also through timing, trust, and context. In espionage, knowledge is power, and the ability to communicate invisibly is the ultimate weapon. One of the most fascinating aspects of spy communication is the reliance on human networks and memory. In some operations, entire messages exist only in the minds of operatives. They memorize sequences, routes, contacts, and signals, carrying information across vast distances without ever writing it down. This method, seemingly old-fashioned, is incredibly effective precisely because it leaves no trace. The message can't be intercepted, the plan can't be discovered, and the intelligence remains secure. Even now, in an era dominated by technology, these principles remain relevant. Modern operatives often combine digital encryption with traditional techniques. A photograph posted online may contain hidden data only accessible to the intended recipient. A digital file may be transmitted via secure channels, but carries instructions for offline operations. The elegance of these methods is that they merge old and new, creating layers of invisibility that challenge even the most sophisticated adversaries. At its heart, the invisible communication of spies is a combination of skill, discipline, and creativity. It is a world where the smallest action can carry immense significance, where silence can be louder than words, and where the unseen can wield extraordinary power. Operatives learn to interpret patterns, predict behaviors, and transmit intelligence with a level of precision that borders on the supernatural. The genius of espionage lies in its ability to remain unseen while influencing events on a massive scale. Governments may spend billions on surveillance. Armies may deploy sophisticated equipment, and analysts may scrutinize every transmission. But a well-trained spy can operate undetected, passing information in ways no machine can track and no analyst can predict. The most powerful messages are those that leave no evidence, exist only for the recipient, and vanish without a trace. In this world, every ordinary object, every casual action, and every fleeting moment is a potential channel for information. A parked bicycle, a book left open. A casual handshake call can be part of a complex system of communication, understood only by those trained to see it. The effectiveness of such methods depends not on secrecy alone, but on perception, the ability to manipulate what others see while hiding the truth in plain sight. In the next part of our journey, we will explore the stories that reveal the terrifying brilliance of invisible communication. from operations that changed the course of wars to missions that relied entirely on human memory. These accounts will astonish you and challenge everything you think you know about communication. You'll see how spies, armed with nothing more than ingenuity and silence, could outmaneuver entire armies, governments, and intelligence networks. Because in the shadowed world of espionage, the most effective messages are the ones that never need to be sent. Even as the techniques of espionage evolved over decades, one principle remained unchanged. The most powerful messages are invisible. Yet, understanding these techniques offers more than historical insight. It offers lessons for anyone who wants to master subtle communication. Sharpen observation skills, or protect information in a world that constantly observes, records, and analyzes. At its core, invisible communication relies on awareness. A spy moves through a world full of signals, noticing the tiniest shifts in behavior, the slightest irregularities, and the most ordinary objects that might carry extraordinary meaning. By cultivating the same awareness, anyone can begin to understand the world in layers. A casual glance across a crowded room is not just a glance. It is data. A simple interaction is not just social. It is a network of possibilities. This is the first lesson spies teach without ever intending to. The world speaks if you know how to listen. Consider dead drops, once the lifeblood of clandestine operations. In a modern context, the principle remains valuable. Leaving information in a place where only the intended recipient knows how to find it, without direct contact, reduces risk. For everyday life, this can be applied in simple ways. Securely leaving important documents for a family member or colleague, or creating private storage methods that only you and trusted contacts can access. The essence is planning, precision, and discretion. The message itself becomes irrelevant to outsiders because it exists only within the system you've designed. Signals in plain sight also provide a compelling strategy for communication. Spies use ordinary objects, books, clothing, hand gestures, marks on walls to convey critical information without alerting anyone. In daily life, this principle can enhance subtlety in communication. A small, pre-arranged signal, like a hand gesture to indicate understanding in a meeting, or a discrete symbol in a shared workspace, can transmit information efficiently without verbal confirmation. The key is consistency and shared understanding. The message is meaningless to outsiders, but instantly recognized by those who know. The art of memorization and human observation is another lesson from espionage. Operatives often carry entire sets of instructions, routes, and codes in memory, entirely independent of physical devices. Developing strong observation skills and memory techniques can be transformative for anyone. Take note of details others overlook, patterns in behavior, subtle shifts in conversation, or small discrepancies in information. These observations can help anticipate outcomes, understand hidden intentions, and respond strategically in both personal and professional contexts. Invisible ink and cryptography demonstrate the importance of concealment in communication. While you may not need to hide national secrets, protecting sensitive information is a crucial skill. Using encrypted apps, secure passwords, or coded systems for personal data mirrors the principle of invisible communication. In a world where digital exposure is constant, the ability to transmit information safely and discreetly is as relevant as it was for spies transmitting state secrets. The lesson is simple. Make your critical information visible only to those who are meant to see it. Another profound lesson comes from dead man switches and self-destructing messages. In espionage, these methods ensure that dangerous information is eliminated if misused. In daily life, this translates to digital hygiene, setting expiration times on sensitive messages, using apps with disappearing content, or ensuring that personal files are securely deleted after use. It is a practice of discipline, foresight, and control over your own data principles that mirror the world of covert operations. But perhaps the most fascinating and universally applicable aspect of espionage communication is the power of nonverbal cues. Spies transmit critical information using nothing but body language, posture, and subtle gestures. Learning to read these signals and using them consciously can dramatically enhance interpersonal effectiveness. In a workplace, this might mean recognizing hesitation or confidence in a colleague's stance. In social interactions, it can mean transmitting intent without words. The silent language of humans is powerful, and mastering it, whether for personal safety, negotiation, or persuasion, is a skill drawn directly from the spy's playbook. Steganography, the practice of hiding information within ordinary content, has modern applications as well. Today, this may involve embedding secure data in images, using subtle markers in presentations, or employing coded references in communication that only your intended audience understands. The principle is timeless. Information can exist openly without revealing itself to those who are not meant to see it. This fosters security, discretion, and efficiency, lesson that transcends espionage. Modern spies combine all of these techniques in ways that are seamless, strategic, and highly effective. But beyond the dramatic examples, the underlying principles can be adapted for personal growth, professional advantage, and enhanced situational awareness. Observe the world. Note patterns. Conceal critical information. Communicate subtly. Trust only those who understand the code. These are not just spy tactics, they are strategies for thriving in a world that increasingly monitors, records, and interprets every interaction. Some practical exercises can help integrate these lessons into everyday life. Start by observing details others miss. Notice how people move, where they pause, or how they interact with their environment. Record these observations mentally. Practice discreet signaling. A small gesture shared with a trusted partner can communicate an idea or instruction without words. Experiment with memory-based messaging. Carry a set of information without writing it down and test your recall. Use digital concealment. Encrypt sensitive files. Use secure apps and apply principles of disappearing content. Each exercise builds skill in the art of invisible communication. Another critical lesson is adaptability. In espionage, no single method works in all circumstances. Dead drops are effective in some scenarios. Digital encryption is crucial in others. Body language is vital in environments where physical surveillance is heavy. The ability to choose, combine, and execute the right method at the right time is what distinguishes a master operative from a novice. In life, adaptability is equally crucial. Recognize which tools and techniques serve your purpose best and employ them strategically. Ethics, however, cannot be overlooked. Invisible communication is powerful, but it can be misused. Using subtle techniques to manipulate, deceive, or harm others crosses a line. The goal is not to become a spy in the literal sense, but to understand and harness the principles of awareness, discretion, and strategy for positive outcomes. Protect your information, communicate effectively, and sharpen your observation skills, but always with responsibility. Even within these ethical boundaries, the potential is vast. Negotiations, business strategy, personal safety, and crisis management all benefit from the subtle mastery of invisible communication. Recognizing patterns, anticipating moves, and conveying intentions silently can provide immense advantage. The most mundane environments, crowded cafe, a busy street, and office meeting can become laboratories for practicing these skills. Each interaction is an opportunity to refine perception, improve messaging, and increase situational awareness. History reminds us that these skills are not theoretical, they save lives. From the resistance fighters in occupied Europe to Cold War operatives in Berlin and Vienna, invisible communication determined outcomes, preserved networks, and protected countless innocents. Even today, intelligence agencies around the world rely on these timeless methods, adapted to modern technology, but rooted in the same principles of discretion, precision, and observation. It is also important to understand the psychological dimension. Spies succeed not just through tools, but through the careful study of human behavior. Anticipating actions, interpreting intentions, and influencing perception are as critical as any device. For the everyday practitioner, developing emotional intelligence, situational awareness, and observational acumen mirrors this aspect of spycraft. Understanding how humans convey and interpret signals both consciously and unconsciously is fundamental to effective, invisible communication. Digital age considerations further enhance these lessons. Steganography, encrypted communication, and controlled information release demonstrate that even in a highly connected world, secrecy and discretion remain vital. Emails, social media, and shared files can all carry hidden meaning if carefully managed. Learning to control the flow of information, conceal sensitive content, and employ subtle cues is increasingly relevant in a society where data breaches and information leaks are common. Applying these principles in everyday life does not require espionage-level stakes. Start small. Develop subtle signals with trusted contacts. Practice memorizing critical information without reliance on devices. Use discretion in digital communications. Observe the environment actively. Every step, every glance, every action can be leveraged as a form of silent communication. The goal is not secrecy for its own sake, but mastery over how information flows, who controls it, and how effectively it reaches its intended target. Now, as we draw this exploration to a close, it is crucial to remember one final principle. Power and responsibility are intertwined. Invisible communication is a tool. Like any tool, its impact depends on how it is used. The techniques discussed in this video are presented for educational, historical, and self-development purposes only. They should not be used for illegal, unethical, or harmful activities. Always respect privacy, security laws, and ethical boundaries. As we conclude, take a moment to reflect. The world is full of unseen communication. Every action, every object, every gesture can carry hidden meaning. By understanding and applying these principles awareness, observation, subtle signaling, memory, discretion, you can improve not only your personal safety, but also your effectiveness in communication and strategy. If you have stayed with us this far, you have already begun to enter the world of invisible intelligence, where silence is louder than words, and the unseen shapes outcomes in ways most people will never understand. To continue exploring this world, uncover more hidden methods, and learn how to sharpen your awareness and strategic thinking. Subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon, and become part of a journey into the hidden, the mysterious, and the profoundly powerful realm of invisible communication. Remember, the real power lies in what is understood without being spoken, what is seen without being noticed, and what is known without ever leaving a trace.